Remix. 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 Remix.
Oh, yeah. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor in case you didn't know. And this is Black Liberation Media. Yeah. All right. So we came to give you some of that boom bap breakfast, but you know I couldn't do it by myself, so I had to bring along the smooth sounds of no other than Jackie Lukman.
Hey. Okay, something is happening with my computer. Because I hope you can see me because I cannot.
I can see you.
I don't know what's happening with my monitors. They're just not working.
I can see you, and I can also see Kamal K. Franklin.
Oh, goody.
What is happening? What is happening, folks?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm playing Get on the Good Foot by James Brown, and we ain't getting on the good foot.
Not at all.
Well, we are live, aren't we? We're live. It looks like we're live.
Yeah,
live.
We figuring it out live? Is that what's
I'm halfway live. My monitors are not working, so
we can see you and hear you.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Oh.
So do you want to go ahead and restart your computer and rejoin us?
For the second time this morning? Sure.
All right. Well, we'll let you do that. Get yourself together there.
What I love is the great coordination and production skills we have at the Remix Morning Show. See, that's why we can't get no sponsors, except for Community CMOS, of course. Have you ever played my commercial again?
What?
Oh, damn. Oh, you
It should
back?
become part of your regular.
Can you see?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
$2,400 for a Mac Studio, and this is what I get. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is what we get. Kim Brown.
Yeah, you're very sporty.
Hey.
Oh, thank you.
I like the sporty look on you.
It's kind of be girlish. I like it.
I know. We're bringing it back.
Yes.
Need some door knocker earrings.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Where the bamboos? What's happening?
My asymmetrical salt and pepper on. Yeah. How are y'all feeling this morning?
Good. We're working out some computer issues, some technical issues, that kind of thing. Not on my part, because my equipment works fine.
You know what? Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you to weigh in on my technical issues today.
My bad.
But I don't care because my whole birthday month is ruined by this damn COVID anyway. So everybody suffers. So
you got the
How long you had COVID?
Well, since I came back from Oakland.
So you've had COVID for like 3 weeks now. What the hell?
Yes, and I'm gonna have COVID for another 5 weeks probably.
Damn.
Yeah, because my immune system is suppressed, I can't fight things off. Which is why it's so important to get the vaccines, because that's pretty much the only line of defense we transplant patients have are those vaccines. Before the vaccines, we were dying.
Mm-hmm.
We were dying from COVID. So I don't want to hear nothing else from anybody else about vaccines, this, that, and the third. I'm alive because those vaccines are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So
that's right. Keep it closed. Keep it closed. Keep it closed. Good job. Good job. Excellent work. Excellent production skills. There we go.
So anyway. So because when I get sick, I will keep a virus much longer than other people because my immune system is suppressed, and it's suppressed intentionally. So I don't reject the kidney.
Well, so everybody saying get well soon, Jackie, in the chat room. So everybody got you in their prayers.
You know, it would help her if y'all gave some money to the show.
I don't see how...
I'm helping you. Let me help you.
You're not.
Let me help you.
Is this my birthday?
Help you. Help me.
Is this my birthday money?
Hold on, Jacqueline. What day is your birthday?
It was October 5th.
Oh shit, we missed it.
Thanks for letting us know.
Come on. I'm getting older. Oh, I am older, and I'm getting more and more stubborn. And yes, if that were possible, Kamal, I know if that were even possible, apparently it is.
You know how I realized it was your birthday, Jackie? Because I was about to play a rerun because I didn't know if any of y'all was coming.
Mhm.
And I looked back a year ago and I seen the thumbnail of your birthday. You in the front,
no.
the thumbnail of your birthday. Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's get some birthday presents. What's the Cash App, Jackie? Is it Luke Mon Nation
I
one?
don't have Cash App. Nope.
Well,
Don't have Cash
okay.
App.
We have
Venmo, PayPal.
Why you got rid of the Cash App? Too much problem?
Because our Cash App got hacked
Oh,
too many
wow.
times.
Oh shit.
And they would and eventually they just would not reset the account. So we were just like, this is like, do you have another phone number? No, fuck y'all. Y'all keep y'all security is shit.
Word.
Somebody keeps stealing our money. No.
So Venmo and
Wow.
PayPal.
Venmo and PayPal. PayPal is what is it? PayPal.me/LukeMonNation.
Why don't you drop it in the chat? Drop it in the chat.
Drop
All
it like
right,
it's
all
hot.
right.
Get a little
I'll
birthday
drop it
like
in
it's
the
hot.
chat.
In addition to
Yeah.
giving a little birthday money, it is Black Liberation Media's birthday too.
It is. Is it?
Huh?
I
Yeah.
thought-
No, yeah, it is. And
I thought we
so
were born
Okay.
420. I thought we were born April.
That's what I thought. Kamal,
Come out. We're not blatantly
we're
telling
not blatantly.
falsehoods.
you gonna hijack? See,
It is
sir.
the anniversary of my 34th appearance.
No,
on the Remix
no,
Morning Show. That's a
no.
special. No, not.
No.
All right.
Oh man.
Y'all don't want the money. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Listen, if we're
Working
gonna
on
have a New
fumes
York
over
nigga, if a New York nigga's gonna be part of this, let him do him. You know what I'm saying? Let him get that guap because that's what they do.
Man.
They do.
I was gonna take the day off. I'm glad I came, yo.
You're going to take a day off.
Yeah.
Tuesday through Fridays, you belong to us, B. That's when you
Oh my
day
God,
off,
wait a
man. What's
minute.
going on with you?
It's freaking-
Oh, it's a day
Slavery
off
is
between
still
us.
I
alive.
was about to say this got real
just do two
overseer
weddings?
vibes now.
I mean, it's not slavery because you could leave. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's more like
No.
indentured servitude.
Let's not encourage
There we
that.
go.
Can't say no.
I'm a
Can't
surf.
say no, Kamal.
I'm a surf.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. You know.
Your 6-year contract is still active, brother.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, did you do your second wedding? You still got that coming up though.
No, I did 2 weddings. One
You already
Friday,
did
one
too.
Saturday.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got some money. You good.
What the fuck money got to
Oh,
do with me
wow.
taking a
Oh.
break? Like
Oh,
a
the
mental health
language.
break.
Man, what mental health? What you fine? You're
What's wrong
fine.
with you? You're
Huh?
wrong with you?
Shake it off. Shake it off.
See, this is what happens to black men.
That's what
Man,
happens.
supervisors
Let me-
and
let me-
managers
let me-
don't have no mental
let
health
me-
problems.
Let me explain to you. This is what happens to black
Oh,
men.
god damn
You know,
no.
we
Yes.
we
You
don't
open
get
your eyes?
we don't get to share our emotions. We're told, stuff them down, and then
Ugh.
one
By
day we
who
just
though? Look who's telling you, another man. Look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah.
it's
You're
like, why
man.
am I
You're
even
man.
listening to this?
You're
guy?
my era. You're my era. Man up. Man up. You're my era.
This is some
Man up.
petty bourgeois middle management.
We don't need all
I'm
that.
having
We
a
don't need
bad
all
day.
that. All that.
I'm having
all
a
that.
bad day because of the serfs kind of thing.
You know what I'm saying? Put a band-aid on
Patriarchy
it. Let's
doing
go.
its own niggas. Look how the patriarchy do its own
Let's go.
niggas.
Let's
Bad.
go.
Doing
Put a Band-Aid
bad.
on it.
Your own people.
Put some Robitussin on it. Let's go, B. Let's go. We got things to do, places to
And
go.
then you know what? That's how it gotta be. That's we warriors, man.
Exactly,
that's
son.
really what it
There
is.
you go. There
That's
you
what
go.
it
You
is. I was
Listen,
thinking
all
about
that
the other day.
emotion
Matter of
back
fact,
down.
thank you for getting me out of my stoop, Kamal.
know what I'm saying? I don't need
You know
all
what I'm
that.
saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Word. I was like this
We
dude
out here.
complaining the other day. I was like, yeah, what you got to complain about? Ain't nobody trying
Exactly,
to hear that.
son.
complaining. Don't say it. I mean, burnout is real. It's not a complaint. It is a legitimate state of being. You can feel and
You
be
think
burnt
you
out.
think Nat Turner had burnout?
Think
You
Nat
think
Turner burned out?
you think
Are
you think
gonna
Nat
compare
Turner burned out?
yourself
you
to
think Queen
Nat
and Zinga
Turner?
had burnout?
You think Queen is nigga burned out?
What army have you led against the empire, sir?
Y'all.
He's on.
Oh,
He's on the
wow.
way. He's on the way. If he sits down, he can't lead an army.
Let
You
me
can
let
only
me,
lead an army
let
when
me
you
get my
standing up.
pose.
When you standing up, there you go, son. There you go. There
I'm
you
here.
Go. There you go.
I cometh.
Nat Turner at least had
We're here for you. I'm here
60
for it. I'm here
scalps.
for it.
Nat Turner had 60 scalps under his belt.
Oh
Where's
my
your
Lord,
scalps?
oh my Lord, oh my Lord. He said,
I like that manifesto. What my man say? Our manifesto. Kamal says, "Dance between the raindrops." B. During a hurricane. That's right. That's right. I love that.
Oh,
You may be
man.
sarcastic, of course, as you say, but I love it. I love it.
So, Kim, how you been?
Hey, living, brother, living, my
I
good
hear
brother.
that.
I've
I hear
been
that.
diligently working hard on our Patrice Russian episode happening tomorrow
Ooh.
on Classical Breakdown Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. I'm learning a lot about Patrice Russian. I did not realize, like, for a lot of her projects, she's not singing on a lot of these joints. It's her doing the arrangement of this funk jazz quintet, quartet, whatever. I mean, it's dope. I mean, she's a musician, clearly, first and foremostly, but her singing voice when she does sing, nigga. That shit is so beautiful and gorgeous. Her voice is so amazing. So looking forward to exploring Patrice Russian's work with the crew tomorrow.
Yeah, now Kim's putting this all together too, because I'm sitting back and enjoying the ride. I'm just gonna play the music.
Script though, my nigga. You're not out of this. You're not over here playing buttons. I got a script for your ass.
Okay, let's go. I'm always down for that.
Talking about there you go. That's right.
To remember.
Oh man, that's.
And like that was
we had.
By the time she dropped that, we was
Jackie,
10 years plus into
Jackie,
her.
who sang that?
Patrice Russian, nigga.
What the hell?
I was just wondering if you would allow her to sing it. I was just saying.
Oh my.
That's like the oldest one to walk into.
Oh my.
That came out in the 1900s, y'all. That joke.
Oh, I'm just drinking my tea because I'm just
crumbling herb. I hear that.
Okay.
So
I don't know what's going on.
Me neither. I'm trying to wake up still.
Out of the room.
You got that look on too, like you're trying to wake up.
Yes.
Oh man, this is a long
Well,
night.
we talk about you. Hold on, doctor. Why are you all groggy and sloggy? What kind of thing you have? How were you been, ear doctor?
I'm good. This is a family show. What else been going on?
Who's messing with you, son?
Hold on.
Who's messing with you? What's going on now?
Nothing. I'm good. I'm good.
Sure? Just people getting on your nerve though.
Nah.
No, he don't want to tell us his whole escapades out here. He got some whole escapades going on.
What her name is?
Hey, you know what's funny? Houdini had a song called "I'm a Hoe," and it went, "I'm a hoe, you know I'm a hoe. I rock."
So many girls at every
3
show.
different shows after every show. I'm a hoe. Like that was really a song.
Yeah.
So what is
Relatively
it?
speaking, a hit song. Yeah.
No.
Is it a mantra for you?
No, it's not. Not at all.
That's your theme song. You sure?
I am wholesome.
Wow,
what was this maniacal laugh?
You're wholesome.
He's wholesome.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant. He's wholesome. Yeah.
Just some.
Yeah, just wholesome.
The L and the E have been escorted out because they are not needed for this country.
Ain't no W on that wholesome is a wholesome. That's you.
Y'all painting a bad picture of me right now, man.
No, you don't understand. It's a family show. Like you can't discuss. Nobody asked you to break down the Kama Sutra for us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
please, God, don't. I don't. I sleep well at night. That's great.
So we got to talk about this Jaguar Wright thing.
Okay.
Y'all saw now she was not she, but Piers Morgan came out with an apology
to who?
To Beyonce and Jay-Z because he brought her on his show, and she went off on Beyonce and Jay-Z, and basically their lawyers called Piers Morgan. That's it, right? The British dude, Piers Morgan.
That's that.
And then, so and then I went down a little rabbit hole and was like, now what is she doing? And I saw this one video. I mean, she needs a little help. I'm not saying that. I'm not even suggesting. I don't know about all of her allegations and so forth. But some of the things that she was saying, or at least the ways in which she was presenting, she also needs a little help.
So what I see when I hear Jaguar,
right.
To me, you're looking at a woman who I won't say the end of her rope. Maybe that's not the right phrase. But when Black women especially have no fucks to give, None whatsoever. Zero fucks. Don't care who hear it, who feelings get hurt. That's what that looks like. You're looking at a woman with no fucks to give. So to me, she may be slightly unwell, but I think it could be the result of the things that she has experienced and shit that she's seen, at least according to her. I'm trying to give her grace because I know how easily Black women can be painted with, oh, she just crazy and no, she mad, she bitter. Well, where's the lawsuits? Sue her. If she out here lying and making up shit, Diddy got lawyer money, Jay-Z, Beyonce, they all got lawyer money. Sue her. Shut her up.
Does Diddy have any more lawyer money? Ain't all his lawyer money tied up?
Diddy, yeah. Diddy's distracted. He can't go.
But
He's got
if
bigger
Jay,
fish to fry.
if Jay and Beyonce did that, they would look guilty if they tried to do that, though, right? Would that make them look guilty?
So I have to watch.
I mean, it's whether or not you
sue?
can prove in certain kinds of intent in terms of the defamatory nature of what she's been saying. So
It seems like it's working by just ignoring her. It pretty much seems like that's been working pretty good.
Has it though? Because the internet streets is talking. You know, the fact that this made it to Pierce Morgan just took it to another level. This is stuff that Black folks, especially who traverse YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, etc. She's been saying this shit for years. Like, this isn't new. She didn't just start this in 2024. She's been saying these things. So that Pierce Morgan put her up on his platform, I think, elevated the fact, the reach rather of what she has been saying. But she hasn't switched up at all. Like, she's been pretty consistent with what she has been alleging.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, you can say like, this is frequently, and this is one reason why, again, Diddy or R. Kelly got to go on for as long as they do, right? Because mass media culture doesn't care about sort of what they would consider to be the subculture of either hip hop or things going on. It's not until it reaches a certain stage of like dozens of complaints or whatever that then all of a sudden the larger society may take notice of some of these things happening. But so I put this up here. So I think she may fall into that category. Like, she's gotten away with it because it's been ignored. But like you said, once she says it to like a Pierce Morgan who has a certain amount of reach compared to some of the other sort of podcasts she's probably been going on, then, again, a person like a Jay-Z or people who have money, substantial wealth, they're going to take notice and probably act on it. But she was on this. I found this podcast.
Real quick.
Yes.
Real quick. OP has said Jay-Z has sent a cease and desist, and Breakfast Club is talking about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's been a lot. Again, I mean, some of her allegations.
To be clear, cease and desist is a letter. It is not a lawsuit, but yes.
No, yes, you're right. Yes. It's basically a letter from a lawyer saying, don't do this or we will sue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's an attempt to, it doesn't mean that it's right or that the people have all the facts who are saying it, but it does mean that they're they're trying to issue some way of getting you to stop beforehand or to stop it now beforehand or whatever. So but real quick, y'all want to see? Y'all want to hear?
Yes. Let's listen to this because I don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
Yeah, I was wondering when you was gonna stop talking.
You know what?
to what?
I'm the Jaguar Wright of the show.
That's right.
Willful ignorance and willful blindness is what makes it possible for the diddler to do all the things that he's done to not just women, not just men, but children. Children. Jay-Z has too many bad friends.
That part.
Diddy is the diddler.
Yeah.
Who is the Joker?
The Jigga Man.
I hate to see who Two-Face is.
She's so deep.
Two-Face?
Yeah.
That's Mary J. Blige.
Oh, damn.
No. 50 is the penguin on a diet.
Oh,
Naming names.
Oh, that's all she does.
Okay. So, right, so you can find him in the club.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. So let me ask you, when Pierce...
Hopefully not at Coco Pele.
Damn.
I got somebody looking for you there.
Damn.
I know you're tight, Curtis.
That she's going to say
You
something
gonna
really
fall
offensive.
for one of my niggas real soon.
She said what?
She said
She's
Curtis
about to
See
gonna
if
say-
fall
you
for
figure
one
out
of
which
her niggas.
one.
She's about to say something really offensive too. So just get
So-
speak.
I had somebody watching your ass the second you came down to the clerk's office. Now, you might have been able to pay everybody down there to get on Facebook and lie about me and say that I was arrested for kidnapping and elderly abuse. Y'all remember when I got arrested and brought here to Dallas
Yes.
after I got extradited? What was it, for kidnapping and elderly abuse?
Yes.
It was for me being a fugitive.
Oh yeah, fugitive.
Because DJ Genesis made me a fugitive when she pretended to be Angela Owusu and broke my bond so that King World and the Bean Team could come in and swoop in online and have me arrested as a fugitive. I was arrested as a fugitive, not for kidnapping.
Did we get there
I
yet?
don't have any of those
No,
charges.
it's going to come. I just I'm going to play the
So
whole
why
thing.
does
It's only like
everybody
20
believe
seconds,
it?
30 seconds left.
So-
Why was it all over Facebook? Why did 50 Cent run around talking to every independent white business owner that I went to and talked to and told them about me wanting to run for mayor? Why did you go and buy them all off, Curtis?
Wait, so you did a PSA on Curtis about him and Soldier Boy
Yeah.
on the cover of
Yeah.
him. You know, you kind of poking the bear there.
I'm not poking a bear. I'm saying that he's a stone. And I've spoken to 2 men he's lived in sales with, who you had sex with, Curtis.
All
No,
right.
I'm not saying a lot.
Okay.
So we shows violence this morning.
Okay.
All right. I think we need our palate washed.
No, I mean, yeah, only because we brought her up the other day, and so when I saw that, I was just like, you know, again, her accusations are going from.
Apology. Didn't you say Pierce Morgan apology? That's what I thought we were about to watch. Didn't you say Pierce?
No,
Morgan?
yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Nah,
That was
Okay. Well,
that led me to the Jaguar Wright. Because he apologized for having her on his show and things that she said about Jay-Z after he got a letter from their lawyers saying you better retract this or something. So
nigga, what the fuck you think she was gonna get up there and say? Why he thought she was gonna get up there and say anything different than what she's been saying?
well, I think they were hoping that she was going to stick to the P. Diddy allegations. So like P. Diddy, you know, and again, this is no protection for P. Diddy, but at this stage, right, people can bring out everything that they've said that P. Diddy's done.
Safely.
And so I think that's the reason for having her on. And then she went from, you know, these y'all probably know better than I. These shows which people think they vet their guests really well, half the times they don't, and so they only get the things that they want. And then when they bring somebody on and they get a little bit more than they bargained for, I think that's what also took place or whatever. And so he had to retract. But again, it got me going down a rabbit hole because we spoke about it the other day, and I was like, oh, okay, she's going through stuff. Again, I know you don't want to throw her under the bus, and that doesn't mean that all of her allegations may be false, but she also seems to be, you know, having some mental health.
Schizophrenic.
No,
I can't
yeah.
judge her in that way. I'm not giving psychological. I'm just saying that she obviously is going through some mental health issues. At the same time, it could have been brought on by actual real world things that she's also gone through. But
so about what she said, of course, you know, leaving out the bullshit at the end about outing people, whether that's true or not, because even if it is true, you don't out somebody else ever for any reason. I don't care what they did to you or didn't do to you. That's not your job to be outing other people or to be accusing other people of being closeted. That's fucked up, and she was wrong as shit for that. What else she said, though, about Diddy, was that untrue?
well,
Right?
again,
What
we
else
don't. I mean, these are allegations that
Mhm.
she's made, which also have not gone to a court of law and been proven, right? So that's why always we're careful to say, or we should be careful to say, allegations, right? Because they are, you know, she also has not, to my knowledge, or if she's brought a lawsuit, she has not necessarily won a lawsuit, right? Or we don't know if charges have been brought based on information that she's brought. We just don't know any of that stuff. So I don't know, but for whether I don't know, you know what I mean?
So she's
See,
not the only one making accusations about children being present at these freak offs. There have been at least 2 others who themselves, allege that they are victims, that say that they were underage when they were at these freak offs, and they go into some detail about the way children were presented, let's say, to the party guests at these freak offs. So Jaguar is not saying about the kids. She's not alone on an island in that respect. There are other people making those accusations, in addition to the fact that it's been alleged that Justin Bieber, it potentially could be one of the victims. And Lil Bow Wow came out in a live and indirectly threw his parents under the bus. He didn't say that he had been abused, though his name came up in Kim Porter's book, but he said that his mom or his parents let him go to California at age 6 so he could get an opportunity in the music biz. And it's just another example, not saying that he's a victim or survivor in this case, but just generally the way that children are commodified in the entertainment business, even by their parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
They will send their kids off with strangers if they have an opportunity for fortune and fame. And that's why child sex abuse is so rampant in the entertainment industry, in Hollywood in particular.
Yeah, I think I now look, I don't know who this person is, so it's amazing to me how people are like, oh, y'all are being insensitive to. Not everybody knows who the hell these people are, because not everybody pays attention to celebrities and don't care about them. Generally, I don't. So I don't know who this person is. I don't know what her story is. I don't know, but I don't like the fact that people are dismissing what she's saying because they think she has a mental illness. I don't know if she does or not, but just because she might have a mental illness, it doesn't mean she's lying or she shouldn't be listened to. That also does not invalidate the fact that Piers Morgan, being the dick that we all know he is, of course he brought her on the show because she has a history and a reputation of being a little bit unstable and saying, provocative things. That's the kind of people Piers Morgan brings on his show. And then he brings them on and he insults them because he's a dick. So we know this is what Piers Morgan does. So he brought her on the show in order for her to act exactly like she acts, so that he could do exactly what he does all the time. So yes, she was exploited by him, but her having a mental illness does not invalidate some of the things she's saying, even with the that is just so gross. Just if 50 Cent is having consensual relations with men, good for him, but that's his business. And that is not anybody else's business to tell. This is weird. I don't.
I agree with outing of people, but I think 50 himself has issued some sort of homophobic slurs against those that have somewhat been implicated in alleged freak offs, same sex aspects of the freak off. So I think, although I'm not 100% sure why she's naming Curtis in that way, but I think that could be part of it. It's like, nigga, you got something to say about that man being with a man? How about you? Is how I took it. But to your point.
And see, I don't know any, because I don't pay any attention to 50 Cent either. So I don't know what he has said or has not said. I don't know.
You're welcome. See?
And I don't feel any more edified. My brain cells are not happier. My serotonin is not flowing. Knowing any of this has not improved my life.
I'll tell you what, I want you to know who Jaguar Wright is. She is an amazing singer. Go listen to her album. It's called Denials, Delusions, and Decisions. It's so good. It's a very, very good album. She has a standout voice. If you know nothing else about Jaguar, know that she can blow the house down with her singing voice.
And let's keep in mind, she is a singer and a entertainer. So, all right, let's take a mental health break after.
Cool. Can you wake up though? Can you wake up?
Are you still
with a
drinking?
Get you some of that Tusi, ear doctor, and that shit, the shit Diddy had.
Show some power in that voice.
Coffee?
Maybe you need to take what she took. Show some. Get some.
Put some Tootsie
Yeah,
in it. Oh,
Do it again. Do it again. Let's take a go ahead.
Right here on the Remix Morning Show.
God.
We're gonna take a quick
that
break.
is- oh,
oh man, that's not better.
that is.
Yeah, clear your throat. Yeah, work
I know
that
he's
out.
clearing his throat on air.
We're gonna
You
somebody
have no
phone ringing.
pants? I mean, you feel like it's like you got you got no pants. Go get some coffee or something.
Hold on.
We need you alive.
All right, we're gonna come right back here, right here on the Remix Morning Show, right here on Black Liberation
Yeah, okay, that's good enough. Okay, thank
mental
you.
health break. Okay, here we go on this beautiful day. We're gonna do a remix on the remix. Y'all ready to do that? Let's do it like this. Well, I thought it was gonna come on. It didn't. So let me bring y'all closer. Come a little closer. I got you. Remix on the remix, y'all.
I'm getting high, closer to my dream. I'm getting higher and higher, feeling in my sleep. Sometimes it feels like I'll never go past it. Sometimes it feels like this forever, ever. When I'm going high, closer to my dream.
All right, let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to 1992 with Shaka Demus and Pliers off the album Bam Bam is Murder. Murder She Wrote is the name of the song, mixed with a little bit of 2002. We talking about Guapole and her album Even Closer. The name of this song is Closer to My Dreams. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning Crew right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, let's go.
Oh, hurry, and when you find your mistake, you talk about your sorry.
Now every mingle and they hear this song, girl, have a passion. For the cool, white, for the cool, white, for the cool, white.
Yeah.
It's one of the best beats of all time, B.
It
After
is.
like this man, don't bother no one. I was like, yo, just fly.
Yes, that was a good time in the dance hall back when you would just lean on the wall and a woman would just
Someone would lean on you. Yeah.
You know it. Yes, sir. It reminds me of the good old Miami-based days when you used to lean on the wall and then they Doodle Brown. Yeah, it was great. All you had to do was be on the wall like this. That's it. That's all the guys
You
had
had
to
to do
do.
no work. No work.
They did everything. Now you try to see, please.
Hey,
Unless you go to another dance hall, now they coming and running and throwing themselves at you and splashing on the floor. Oh yeah, you got to see some of this reggae, some of this dance hall antics they do now. They jump off the top of bars and just come down jump on a guy while he's on the ground.
Oh wow.
But is he enjoying it though?
It seems he is, but
Okay, then everyone jump off the bars onto your partners. That's
well, at a certain age, nobody
you're
jumps
lying.
on me. Not
Yeah,
just
he's
with
cracking
it
and
will
shit.
not be me. I will be.
If my contact falls out and I'm on the floor looking for it, don't accidentally think that's not protected jump. No,
I will be scoring points for form, creativity,
Oh, man.
and possibly costumes. Because costumes, if we're going to do this kind of thing, it has to be costumes. You know, maybe some. What do you call those things?
Maybe some
Sprinklers.
pom-pom shorts,
Sprinklers.
pom-pom shorts.
Yes. With the stripper heels. Come on. If we're going to do it, let's do it right. And we can have the men we can have them trussed up in like the bondage gear. Come on. Yes.
Miss my stripper heels.
All right, well, let me go take a break. And I'll catch y'all
Yeah,
after the next
Haven't
break.
you already been on a break, baby? What's going on with you?
Lively up yourself.
Who
What's
hasn't
going
been on a
on
break?
here?
Wake
I
up.
really
Wake
do
the
need
fuck
to know
up.
what her name is.
Listen,
what
I
does
know.
she do?
I need y'all to
Did you go to bed at
lift.
4 and wake up at 6? Is that the thing? What happened?
Listen, I need y'all to lift me up sometime.
Oh.
Okay.
Um, damn. Nah, don't y'all feel bad? Don't
No,
y'all?
Not at
I
all.
don't,
Not at
because I
all.
really
Y'all
want
are
to know what her name
terrible.
is, because I
He
thought she
needs to
put
wake
a
the
root
fuck
on
up.
him.
He needs to wake the fuck up.
No,
Oh, come on in here, not being woke.
Ooh,
It's
listen.
showtime. It's showtime at the Apollo.
To
We
our
need to
younger
know who she
generation,
is.
to our millennials, Gen Zers, and Gen Alphas, these Gen X's is cold as fucking ice, dog. Okay, these niggas is cold as shit.
No, everybody's so sensitive.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Gen
What's her
X is
name?
not
She put a
here for
root on
about.
him. That's been
Everybody
weird.
needs a little Ralph Tresvant.
Gen X don't care about your little feelings. Gen
He's
X
a
don't
little
care. Gen X
sensitive.
that walk that shit off, nigga. Wake
Yep.
Yep.
Yeesh.
You got shit to do.
You still breathing? What's your problem?
Millennials, listen, millennials and Gen Zers will be like, oh, you don't feel bad. Maybe you should go take a break. It's okay. We can take care of it for the rest of the day. You can handle it. We can handle it. Go take care of yourself. Gen X is like, that's a no. That's a negative.
Exactly. You got a part to play. You gonna leave me with more work because your ass can't handle it? What?
Or
You
all
gotta
your
get on that
limbs-
assembly line. We got things to do.
Yeah,
Yes,
get
sir.
on that assembly line. You're right.
And if you didn't know who's rhyming, Ear Doctor's going to hit the button with perfect timing. Yo. Here we go, everybody. It's the Remix Morning Show, Women's Wednesdays plus Kamal. We got Jacqueline Lukman in the building, Kim Brown in the building, Remix Undefeated Chat in the building. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this illustrious Wednesday, October the 9th, 2024. We appreciate you guys making the time. Head on over to blkliberationmedia.org if you want to kick us some support before Kamal run them pockets. You know, Kamal's bringing back Stop and Frisk single-handedly on the channel, okay? So Kamal's going to be stopping everybody on the way in and out to make sure that you are kicking some material support towards the channel. We appreciate all that you do. You know, we are demonetized here on YouTube, so we still need to assemble some resources. BLK Liberation Media is one way to do that. You can also go over to patreon.com/Black Liberation Media. Thanks all of our patrons, because we know y'all got charged on the first of the month. So we want to thank our patrons for all that you do, continuing the support running to us on a regular basis. Thank you so much. And we're going to get into some news here in a bit, or in a second, or now, or whatever. Anybody got anything they want to say to the folks? Them?
Nah,
Yes.
I'm
No.
good. Oh, I meant like around like I think she did a good segue, and I was like, I'm good. We just need some more money. I'm gonna leave that part alone. I'll go deeper later. But y'all ready? Like if y'all ready for news, we got news.
Yeah. Let's
You got a
not.
story? You want me to
Let,
bring?
let's No, I got a story. It's a little bit old, but it is important because it happened and we didn't know it happened, I think. And it is very important to know that the Biden administration, that remember, people are convinced Kamala Harris has nothing to do with anything that is happening in the Biden Harris administration. She doesn't know. She has nothing to do with the decisions that are being made. She has no power, no authority. She has nothing to do with it. She's not even in the building when Biden is doing these things in his sleep. Apparently, back in June, the Biden administration admitted that the far-right Ukrainian army unit, the Azov battalion, remember we talked a lot about them a couple years ago, can now get aid from the U.S. The training, The Intercept found out that they were already a photo, rather. The Intercept found out proves that the United States had been training the Azov battalion the whole fucking time. They weren't supposed to be getting arms whatsoever.
Tell people who the Azov battalion is, Jacqueline. Who
I am getting there. Yes. So the Azov battalion, if you all do not remember, before 2022, when Russia started its special military operation in Ukraine after NATO decided to use Ukraine to attack Russia, We actually talked about the Azov Battalion starting in 2013, 2014, 2015, because the Azov Battalion were a part of the far-right fascist, full-out fucking Nazis in Ukraine that were legitimized, armed, and ended up in the police and in the military in Ukraine after the 2014 coup. Everybody knew that Ukraine had a big old Nazi problem. All of the major US media outlets, even New York Times, Newsweek, Time Magazine, The Washington Post, LA Times, all of the major outlets reported between 2015 and 2018, reported on the Nazi problem in Ukraine. All of the major US outlets reported that there is a Nazi problem in Ukraine until 2019. Then all of a sudden, they stopped reporting on these things so that when the Russian special military operation begins to stop Ukraine from invading Russia, then all of a sudden, now when we bring up when we bring up the Nazis in Ukraine in 2022, because remember, Vladimir Putin said Ukraine needs to be denazified. Ukraine has been a problem with the Nazis since World War II, actually since World War I. This is what people do not understand about Ukraine. We talked about all of this, and a whole lot of white folks on the left were mad at us because we were not saying that Vladimir Putin was a war criminal and that he was wrong and that he invaded Ukraine and all of that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of internal conflict between the white left and the rest of us who know better. So now, in all of that, in 2015, Representative John Conyers, the late Representative John Conyers, introduced an amendment to the defense spending bill in 2015, which would have, which stopped funding to the Azov Battalion. He specifically introduced an amendment to keep money from going to the Azov Battalion because they are Nazis. And that is not being, well, that amendment was actually removed from the NDAA by the Defense Department the next year. And then people just sort of forgot that Congress knew damn well that there are a bunch of Nazis in Ukraine because they had these discussions and arguments on the floor several times. So, surprise, surprise, it has been revealed that what we suspected has been going on all along. Of course, the Azov Battalion is still getting arms and funding and training from the US military, right? And now it will be official because the Biden administration back in June said that they would allow the Azov Brigade. There's another, I guess they changed their name, that they will receive U.S. weaponry and training officially now, freeing it from a ban imposed in response to concerns that it committed human rights violation and had neo-Nazi ties. The Intercept says a photo posted by the unit itself, however, seems to suggest that the U.S. was providing support as far back as December of last year. The photo, in tandem with the administration's own statements, highlights the murky nature of the arms ban, how it was imposed, and under what U.S. authority two mechanisms could have barred arms transfers, a law passed by Congress specifically prohibiting assistance to Azov, and the so-called Leahy laws that block support to units responsible for grave rights violations, human rights violations. The State Department said this month that weapons shipments will now go forward after a Leahy law review, but won't comment on if and when a Leahy ban was in effect. The congressional prohibition, the U.S. says, does not apply because it barred assistance to the Azov Battalion, a predecessor to the Azov Brigade. The original unit had earned scrutiny for alleged human rights violations and ties to the neo-Nazi and white supremacist ideologies. The U.S. is not made clear about when the apparent ban started, then that's just a lie. But a deputy Azov commander and media reports indicate some type of prohibition has been in effect for nearly a decade through the though the congressional ban has only been in effect since 2018. It's really bothering me that The Intercept is not pointing out Representative John Conyers' amendment in 2015, but that's a personal pet peeve that I have with these folks. But anyway, one former American official said that because of the unit's Byzantine history of reorganizations and official status, the State Department should better explain its decisions. They said, given the history of the Azov Regiment, the Azov Battalion, the Azov Brigade, the State Department's ought to provide a more detailed rationale for the finding that the brigade is eligible pursuant to the Leahy Law. My guess is that the department found that the brigade is a new unit distinguishable from the battalion and the regiment. If that's correct, the department should say so. But these are the pictures that they're talking about. Now, the State Department says that the Azov Brigade is different from the Azov Battalion and the Azov, whatever it is, the name they are saying they're the same thing. The Azov people are still saying, no, we're the same unit. We're still Nazis. And the U.S. has been training us since December. So... And as much as I am laughing, the fact that the United States government and people like Anthony Blinken, who can get on television and lie about Russia secretly running African Stream and shutting down, silencing the voices of millions of Africans across the continent, who were using that outlet to spread grassroots news around the world. These very same people are the ones who are talking about, oh, no, this Azov group is different from these other two Azov groups that they came from. It is insane how absolutely easily these people will lie. Obviously lie in public, just not even give a shit. And people are still talking about we need to vote for the lesser evils.
Yeah, one of the reasons why they're lying so much now is because Russia is on the advance.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're ready to fund everybody and anybody they can. Because what's happened over the last 6 to 8 weeks is that as the U.S. continues to give Ukraine more advanced weapons, different more advanced drones, as they started to target infrastructure in Russia for showy pieces to show that they can hit Russia's, and even as they quote unquote invaded a strip of Russia to try to divert Russia's military from the front lines, which did not work. Russia has advanced, and I think part of the reason, at least openly, that they are now supplying and supporting anybody and everybody is because this war is very much now going in the favor of the Russians, despite all the material aid, the military aid that they've gotten from the Western powers. So here for instance, a Russian forces enter key eastern Ukrainian town of, I think it's Torsk. One of you who are more familiar with maybe East European pronunciations can help with that. But it says Russian forces have reached the outskirts of the long-contested strategic town. The Ukrainian military confirmed that fighting was taking place in the town late on Monday. That Torsk is the latest key location that Russian troops have reached in recent weeks as they advance Moscow's bid to take control of the Donetsk region. The situation is, and one of the major Russian advances, we should say, is that region. The situation is unstable. Fighting is taking place literally at every entrance to the city. That's according to a Ukrainian spokesperson. The Russians have entered the eastern outskirts of the city. Russian officials have yet to confirm the development. So it says a mining town close to the areas of Donetsk region captured by Russian-backed separatists in 2014. Torsk has sat in the front line for decades, and one of the reasons why this area is so important is because it's been an area that has roads and trainways which would cut off military supplies to Ukraine in other areas of the country and where their troops are at. And this is now being called a rapid advance. And so even as, again, the propaganda that we're getting is more along the lines that we're at the war is at a stalemate, or again, attempting to show these fast hits by Ukraine forces on Russian infrastructure on the ground. The news is leaking or getting out more and more that the Russian advance in terms of what's happening in this war before there's any stop in the winter has been rapid, and the Ukrainians are in big trouble in terms of troop levels and their ability to hold. So at this stage, they are Nazis, overt Nazis. Not that they had any inclination before, but like you said, like the Band-Aid is ripped off. They'll just change the name of groups who they once said that they were not going to fund, just to be able to fund them openly, because Russia has made so many quick advances in this war so far.
Well, one thing, I think it also starts with the rewriting of the World War II narrative. The reason why the State Department can say or make it seem as though they're not training Nazis is because of the myth that the American forces defeated Nazi Germany in World War II when it was the Russians that actually defeated the Nazis. That narrative definitely gets lost in the retelling of World War II history in this country. And we don't like to talk about the way that we gave aid, home, and comfort to Nazis that were, I guess, displaced after World War II. We took, sure, Nazi scientists, come right on over. We got a job for you at NASA. Would you like to work for us? We have good benefits for the Nazis. Come on over here. So there's that aspect of it. But also, we don't get the stories in the mainstream media when Ukraine is down bad on the war front. When Ukraine makes small inroads into Russian territory, to the extent of 4 miles? I think they had gotten in 4 miles deep into Russia. It's like, nigga, you know how big Russia is? But anyway, but we got all of that, right? Oh, Ukraine is in Russia. Oh, okay. Now Ukraine getting its ass kicked. We'll get no stories, no reports about that part. But also what I find interesting, this was also not reported in mainstream outlets. When Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, came to visit the Biden White House, and I saw the press conference where Biden was extra ornery, be well beyond his usual level of old man ornery and crotchety.
He can take his sunset medicine.
Well, the TikTok journalists, who many of whom I find very credible, by the way, said that Keir Starmer came with papers prepared to authorize the use of long-range missiles from Ukraine into Russia. And Putin apparently issued a statement saying, you can fire them shits over here if you fucking want to. Nigga, I will let the chopper sang on all of Europe. That's not a direct quote. I'm paraphrasing. You can send them shits over here
paraphrase
if you want to. I will let the chopper sang on you, and you. Do y'all want this? So Keir Starmer allegedly came hat in hand with these papers for Biden to authorize, but apparently Lloyd Austin and I suppose so-called cooler heads within the Biden administration were able to say this would be a very, very bad idea if you were to authorize the use of these long-range missiles against Russia, because it's not going to be good. So the situation in Ukraine is actually way hotter than I think most people are aware of. The UK and France, I think, are definitely trying to inflame things. I think Emmanuel Macron said that if Russia actually is able to reclaim certain parts of Ukraine, he's going to have to send in French troops, and Vladdy is like, okay, you can send them troops. Okay. So yes, that's my addition.
Yeah, I would love for people to hop on. I know Facebook is for old people, but that's my speed. I'm sorry, because Twitter be giving me anxiety,
Gotta
and
get on
TikTok
TikTok.
is,
You gotta,
oh God,
you
no.
gotta cultivate that TikTok algorithm. Once you get it right, you're gonna get all of the good shit. Trust me. You're
But
gonna get all
anyway, I would love for people to follow a fella named Dan Kovalik, Kovalik on Facebook. Dan is he is I think he is descended from Russian folk. He often goes to Mariupol, often goes to Ukraine. And he actually just came back from Ukraine, and he has a whole bunch of videos. So he's like on the border. He's in the Donetsk region, and that region that you were just talking about, when people are always talking about, oh, Ukraine, they have to win back their territory. That's the territory people are talking about. They're talking about the Donetsk region. Those people don't want to be a part of Ukraine. That's why all this thing started, because the people in the Donetsk region were like, oh, they got Nazis again? Yeah, we don't want to be a part of this shit. We want to secede because we're ethnic Russian, and we want to go back to Russia. So they voted to secede from Ukraine. They had a referendum, they voted. The Ukrainian government, the Kiev government didn't like it, and the Kiev government started bombing the people in the Donetsk region in 2014. And there was an 8-year, actually it was before then, but there was an 8-year civil war that created the situation where the Donetsk region is independent of Kiev, and they want to be, and they are ethnic Russian, and they identify as such. So Dan has a bunch of great videos where he's talked to Ukrainians who left the Ukrainian army and joined the Russian army. And he has several videos about that. He shows where the city has been rebuilt. Housing has been rebuilt by Russia. So I would love for people to just go to Facebook, check out Dan Kovalik's videos. Very, very revealing. That just literally the definition of grassroots on the ground reporting, and it's great stuff. He's talking to people in the Donetsk region, and they are making it clear we hate Nazis, and those people are fucking Nazis. So.
Well, for me, the other reason that gets underplayed in mainstream media in terms of why this war took place is obviously the West's creeping attempt to make Ukraine a NATO nation, which was basically formed historically to be antagonistic to the Soviet Union, now Russia, as you stated, Kim, during World War II, agreement after agreement with the then Soviet Union that NATO would not expand towards its borders has continually been broken by the West. The West, who has even at times agreed, oh, we're going to stop here. We're not going to go any further. This country is not going to become NATO. As soon as the opportunity arises for them to make a country NATO, to put weapons basically closer to Russia's borders, they do so. And I think Putin was very clear that Ukraine was a red line. That is, if this tactic happens again, and it became very clear that, again, the United States and Western Europe were ready to fight to the last Ukrainian person to make this happen. And I think the leadership of Ukraine fell for it, or agreed to it, or the leadership installed and supported by the Western powers fell for it and thought that this was going to be something that was going to be easy. And they didn't think the Russians would potentially follow through with their own red line. But the Russians did. And so part of this is also around, no matter what the media narrative tries to tell you, that, oh, this comes out of nowhere, this is just big, bad, evil Russians attacking this poor sovereign country. There's a history to it. There's a history of the West impeding and placing, again, the NATO growing up to the Russian borders as an attempt to control and threaten Russia, and keep it as a regional power, and so that it doesn't, at least in the West's eyes, challenge the West's hegemony. So that part never gets told in mainstream media. You never hear an analysis. of what is the Russian national security interest when it comes to neighboring states. Why is that not thought about or part of the at least the conversation in a so-called free press or free media? And it's not because of the propaganda we get. And so I think that part is woefully missed and never spoken about for obvious reasons. But it's a very important part of the narrative in the first place as to why Russia invaded Ukraine.
And it's along the same propaganda lines of Israel has a right to defend itself, as though Palestine also does not have a right to defend itself, as though Lebanon and Hezbollah do not have rights to defend themselves, as though Iran has no right to defend itself. That's the only line. Well, Israel has a right to defend themselves, so fuck everybody else.
Yeah, I would love for them to finish the sentence when they say that, because the other end of that sentence is like, okay, but there's something else, right? I mean, because surely other groups of people have a right to defend themselves.
No one else has no right.
Only.
No, you must submit to Western. Yeah, you must submit to your oppression. Be happy and quiet with it.
Yes.
Let the United States negotiate for the next 80 years to bring you some rights. And that's just the way it is. That's just how it is. How dare you?
Thankful and call yourself an American, because if America did not bring this civilization to you, where would you be?
Where would you be? Exactly.
What would you be doing? I don't know, freely living my damn life, enjoying my shit.
Not under white supremacy, not under colonial tyranny.
Enjoying my little community and
using the internal resources to help benefit the people of the land.
Oh no, developing a strong and healthy community. I don't know.
Why take that when I can take Western exploitation? You know what I'm saying?
And,
speaking of somebody
27 brands of toothpaste.
And speaking of somebody who never exploits and only uses one good brand of healthy toothpaste.
It's that charcoal.
You're a doctor.
I do use that charcoal stuff.
I
know you. Yeah, I knew that too. Tom for the charcoal stuff, something like that.
You know, healthy.
I'm forced to use that stuff too. I was like, "Where's the sugar? There's no sugary taste in this. Ain't Colgate? Where's the Colgate?
Wait, what? What are y'all
charcoal
talking?
toothpaste?
Charcoal tooth? You never heard of charcoal toothpaste?
No. Is it black?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's black.
It is.
Oh, I'm sure that looks amazing in the morning or in your mouth.
Oh, after you spit it out, your teeth look bad. I mean, you can't walk around with it all day or something like that. But after you spit it out, and you do a little rinse, yeah.
And it works better, or what's the advantage of the charcoal versus the Colgate?
I think supposedly it makes it whiter, cleaner, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And doesn't have a lot of the extra dyes and sugars and stuff in it, like all the other toothpaste.
Yeah. I mean, toothpaste at times can be candy. It's just like candy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially at Colgate. That's straight candy.
Hey. No.
He's like, wait.
This Colgate smile over here.
That's what my grandmama's toothpaste.
Colgate,
you know what?
When your teeth fall out, you're like, what happened here?
You know what I learned from my dad? He used to get the baking soda, have the baking soda, and just put it on his toothbrush.
Yep, we did that.
Brush the teeth.
But I thought that's what you did once you ran out of toothpaste. Like,
nah, that's old school.
Now it gets sold as toothpaste. Now it is toothpaste. Different brands of baking soda toothpaste.
We also use baking soda for deodorant.
Yeah,
I feel like you use baking soda for everything. I can't believe baking soda cannot be be this goddamn useful for every goddamn element. People are like
when you pour it, motherfuckers use that for everything. Shit.
Like peroxide is supposed to be good for every goddamn thing. You put mouthwash. I was like,
yeah.
I'm supposed to put that on the outside of my wounds and rinse my mouth with it.
I got a good question. What is witch hazel for?
It's an astringent.
Yeah.
It's a what? What you say, Kim?
Astringent.
Cleans your skin.
Now look it up.
You can't look it up if you can't spell it.
I know. I was like, damn.
He sounded it out.
I'm over here thinking, does it start with an E-S? I don't know.
A-S. Astringent.
Okay. That sounds about right.
Somebody said you can use baking soda to get rid of rodents? Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I use it to get rid of ants outside.
Baking soda?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this thing?
I'm telling you.
See, that's what we need. Is there like a baking soda mine? Is there mine?
I'm telling you.
That's what needs to be exploited, the baking soda.
And here's another one, that apple cider vinegar. That shit does everything too.
It does.
Yeah. including getting rid of like gnats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit is
Gnats
crazy.
love it.
All this stuff that comes straight from the earth, all natural. This shit is wild, right?
Baking soda natural? What is baking soda out of? What is baking soda?
Carbonite. So
why do you know this?
Well, I don't. First of all, I don't know that I'm right. I'm just saying words. So don't.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I have theories, but I don't know.
No, baking soda is what is it? It's sodium bicarbonate.
Oh, okay.
See, look, I was on the right path.
Yeah, I don't know if that cleared anything up for me. But
No, it didn't. Not at all.
It doesn't really explain anything.
I'm even more confused. That means I gotta go look up some more words.
All right. Somebody in the chat will explain to like where does it come? Like, is it something that's made in is it made in the lab? Is it a derivative of a plant? Is it?
I think it's a derivative of a plant. It feels like it. It feels like it. But what do I know?
Somebody's saying chemistry. Y'all better stop laughing at us. Somebody says it's chemistry.
I mean, it is a chemical compound, but it's not like created. It is a naturally occurring kind of. Yeah, it's very
That's my type of stuff. Plants and herbs. That's what I like to deal with. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick mental health break with some music and come back right here on.
Word.
What?
Wake the fuck up. Wake up.
What?
Just
Not to facilitate our break. Let the man work. Let the man
do your
work.
thing. Do your thing. Little
Hey,
energy.
John,
Throw some bass in that voice.
They want me to come to work early, have everything ready. I get a little tired, stay up a little late, and then what do I get? Well, let me let you know what you get. You get a remix on a remix, baby!
I never thought that I'd find someone like you. I feel hypnotized with the things you do. I'll never let you go. No, you're so right for me. I have to let you know. Forever you and me. Only you can make me happy. Happy. Only you can make me happy.
All right. Let me take you to a time and place. We're going to take you back to 1984 with Fat Boys off the album Fat Boys. The name of this is Jailhouse Rap. Mixed with a little bit of 1986. We're talking about Surface off the album Surface. Only You Can Make Me Happy. That's right. Taking you back to the 80s with a remix on the Remix Morning Show. And yo, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. And yes, share. Like you care. Go to the bottom of the screen, and go check out where you can donate. Go right to blkliberationmedia.org. Donate, don't hate. With that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. Yeah.
Only you can make me happy.
Surface.
Man, them Wave Nouveaux and Jerry Curls, sheesh, kept them niggas in business. You know what I'm saying? Like Wave Nouveau. What's the difference between a Wave Nouveau and a Jerry Curl? I guess the chemical application.
The curl.
The curl pattern.
Yeah, the curl
Baking soda.
I got baking soda.
Now, come out. Which one did the people think you had in the 80s? Did they thought you had a curl or the Wave Nouveau?
Wave Nouveau.
They thought you had the Wave Nouveau.
Wave. This is because it's close cropped. It's always been close cropped. Before the gray kept coming in, it would be, I had like some little waves.
What about S curl? Where does S curl fit into this equation?
greasiness. That's some West Coast shit. I
I think S curl was like the late comer. I feel like S curl came after the first, the original Jerry curl, and S curl was like the inexpensive alternative, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, S curl was not as good quality, I guess, as the original Jerry curl, I think.
If we can harken back to House Party, the movie, and think about Full Force. Shout out to Full Force. Were those Jerry curls or were they S curls? Or were they?
I feel like those was S curls.
Because they was long and shit. If
Yeah,
they
it was
had
long.
out, them joints would have been down their back.
Everything. Just greasy. They were just greasy. How about that?
Yeah.
They had like
even then, even when it was like, go ahead, say it again.
No, it's like they had that black Dominican hair.
Yeah. But I feel like even then, it like everybody knew something was wrong. Something was wrong with the hair. I don't think it ever was like a fashion statement. Everybody was like, we need to duplicate. I know there was a moment of it, but it was still like people were like, something's wrong with that hair.
You know who else had like that black Dominican hair? Turbo and Ozone.
I don't understand. You know what? Don't give a definition. Never mind.
What did you do?
The black Dominican hair?
Yeah,
I know what he means.
I'm not following. Well,
he know. He from New York. He from Brooklyn. He knows exactly what I mean.
Anyway.
They used to draw those I Rock Z's. You remember? Come out.
No.
He know.
Our deepest apologies to the Black Dominican community. I don't. I'm assuming what's being said is offensive. So my apologies on behalf of the channel. I'm sorry.
I told them to draw them cards and have that here. That's their fault.
Yeah, that's
you had to know that was going to stand the test of time.
The I Rock Z's, boy.
Yeah, you knew that was going to stand the test of time.
I thought that's what the New York Italians drove, the I Rock Z's.
They did
They did too. Yeah.
They did too.
And they did not stand the test of time for them either. When they go back and look, they're going to be like, ooh, can't believe we had that card. Didn't we? Yeah.
With the windbreakers on too. Don't forget. Yeah. The windbreakers.
Yes.
Yo, we used to actually wear clothes that would break wind.
A whole thing. And one gold chain.
Yeah, one gold chain.
Was this the era? Was this when the members only jackets came out?
That was
after.
Was
this the same time or after?
It was around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It was hot for like a year or two, and then
they rock some Diodoras.
Yeah.
I don't know that those became big in DC in this era. I don't think they did. I remember the riding boots were huge. The equestrian boots, the tall shaft.
Who was wearing that shit? Dudes or
what
women?
You mean? Women.
Oh.
No, women.
That's high fashion, sir.
He used to project chicks. He don't got no high fashion polluting.
You know
but yeah, I remember the riding boots were huge. This was when I was in high school. So this was 82 to 85.
Damn. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh, Similac breath having stuff over there talking about damn. He was in high school. That's why you going on frisbee dates with little girls.
Whoa. Hey, my fault you went to school. Welcome back, Carter.
I taught that nigga everything.
Welcome back.
She used to be like, go to sleep before MASH go off. Okay.
Exactly.
MASH. I remember MASH. Don't just MASH.
Every time MASH came on, it is definitely time to go to bed. MASH is
talking about my show.
That's some comedy. Some good comedy.
I know, but I was too young. It was everything on MASH was going over my head. I'm like, this isn't funny.
It wasn't.
It did, but MASH really was one of my favorite shows. And I didn't understand the context of MASH because we were not taught anything about the Korean War in school. And I've always been a history buff. So when I did some supplemental work on a session we were doing on global conflict, and then I learned a little teeny tiny bit about the Korean War, I asked a question in class one day, like, so I'm reading about the Korean War, and the teacher was like, well, that's not in the syllabus. I'm like, yeah, I know, but but this did happen, and it looks really horrible. Why is there a comedy series about the Korean War?
Oh damn.
And the teacher was just like, it's very complicated, and it's and I
Mash
remember
also said in the chat, Mash, like the Korean War was a stand-in for the Vietnam War,
right,
which was basically had just ended a few years before I think MASH came out or was at the tail end. And obviously it interplay on the horrors of war, you know, in their own way, the folly of war, the fog of war and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah. So like it had some good moments. I thought it had some good moments. You know,
MASH
had a
we
trans
have
character. That's the big thing that
Yes.
stood out to me about
Klinger
MASH
was
Klinger.
It was a
fantastic.
man dressed in a dress, and I don't remember. I mean, I was too young, but were there protests?
No, as a matter of fact,
come out in protest and said you were presenting this.
But wasn't he looked at as crazy?
Exactly.
He
So
was
the
looked at as crazy.
Yes, he was trying to get sent home. That is why he started dressing like a woman. And MASH's historical context was Korea, because that was the whole storyline was, man, these Koreans are really nice to us, you know, and we're coming over here, we're bombing the shit out of their country, and they're still really nice to us. And then these US military folks who are doctors began to have this crisis of conscience about why they're there. So yes, it had parallels to Vietnam, but MASH was situated during the Korean War, right? So that's another reason why nobody really understood it, because the Korean War was never really talked about in this country. Like, I didn't know that my grandfather fought in the Philippines. Right? These are theaters of war that we do not talk about here. And so watching this whole series MASH, and then realizing in high school, wait a minute, this is a comedy series about a real war. That was, the more I learned about it, it's like, dear God, these people were almost exterminated. And by the United States. And there's a comedy series. So for me, as much as I loved MASH, it also, the more I learned about the Korean War and learned about what really happened in that conflict and how absolutely evil it was, MASH to me represents like the best example of Hollywood misinformation, because it is it's a great series. It's very funny. They do raise some very interesting and introspective questions about war and all that kind of stuff, but they completely gloss over what was actually happening, right? So all you see is the funny ha-ha aspect of war, but you never learn what really happened in Korea. And the fact that the country was carpet bombed almost out of existence by the US. But the only thing we know about the Korean War is MASH. You know what I mean? That is kind of like I look at that series now with a whole lot of side eye, like, damn, y'all whitewashed the shit out of that war.
The best war show was A-Team anyway.
It's not a war.
Was it a war show?
They went against the government. They was in the military, and then they got out of the military, and they started going against the government in different ways.
What's in a war show, though?
What makes
They
it?
came from war. They all was war. They came from war.
But so did Magnum PI.
Yeah, he was a veteran. They were there. It wasn't a war show.
They were Vietnam veterans. The black dudes flying the helicopter.
That's true.
Yeah. War shows are situated in wars. They were like mercenaries. Right.
Anyway, MASH was whack. A-Team was the shit. All right. How about that?
It's two different genres, but
it's not
definitely
even
different genres.
And then A-Team had the what was that?
That's right. A-Team was guerrilla warfare.
Oh God.
Of sorts. Say that.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mr.
And
King.
most importantly, 18
Somebody
had
was
the best
Hannibal?
theme song. Okay, period, hands down.
Dun, dun,
Go
dun.
argue with your
theme.
mama about who had the best theme song.
The
18.
theme song
I don't
was
even
Jennifer.
remember their
I like
theme.
it.
That's
Dun,
crazy.
dun, dun,
It makes you want to
dun,
go
dun,
fight.
dun, dun.
It makes you want
It
to
made you want to fight.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Go grab the AK. Let's go fight.
You know who had a great song? Hulk Hogan. I am a real American.
Yeah, it was a
Sing
great
it, sing it
Fight
out.
for
I don't like
Sing it
that
out.
song.
That's a great
Go
song.
ahead, sing it.
I mean-
Sing it all the way through. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
Fight
thank
for
you.
your life.
Are you a real American?
No.
Listen, it is a great white American
It
song,
is.
right? Like, if
It
you know,
is.
like shout out if anyone who ever watched Eastbound and Down on HBO.
Oh,
like,
the
Steve
greatest show.
Powers
Talk that.
is the quintessential white
Yes.
American man. And when he went to Mexico to go pitch, he came out to that Hulk Hogan shit.
Wait a minute. What's the name of the show? What?
Eastbound and down. Please watch
Eastbound
this,
and
man.
Down. You cannot watch it with your children. Don't even attempt to. But like you
Kenny
and you
Powers.
you guys would probably find some hilarity in it because it's just so ridiculous. But
Yes.
yeah, Eastbound and
Yes.
Down is a wild show.
Is it?
Oh, my goodness.
It's a show. It's not a movie. It's a
It's
series.
series.
It's a series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Oh,
for something new to watch. Yeah.
All right, let me go find something to do.
Deep
Yes, please don't bring up. Now you done brought Hulk Hogan into the thing, and I can't get that man's disgusting pie out of my head now. And it had the way he just ruined. Ugh,
I know. I don't
wrestling
watch.
had enough problems without him.
Got
Like,
it. They made me last week go down the rabbit hole of watching the McMahon thing after Kim and Jared started talking about it. I was like, I got to watch this.
I
gotta
kept
go
looking
watch
at
it,
it,
finish
and I
it.
kept about to, and I'm like, I'm
No, it's worthy. It's worthy of a
no,
watch.
I
It's
just
crazy.
I hate Vince McMahon. I hate.
He's
Vince
very
McMahon.
hateable. Very
It's
hateable.
very hateable.
I
Exactly.
have
The
hated
real
that man.
one, the cartoonish one, all of them
I
are
have
very
There's a
hateable.
clip.
that
There's a clip
man.
of Jesse Ventura actually talking about Vince McMahon, and he shares that Jesse Ventura was attempting to unionize or
Yes.
organize
Mhm.
the wrestlers.
Mhm.
And when he had sued McMahon for whatever reason, they were in, sitting down for depositions. Governor, Jesus, Jesse Ventura was a fucking governor, for fuck's sake. Wow. Anyway, Jesse Ventura's attorney asked Vince McMahon during this deposition, had the wrestlers ever tried to organize, unionize, and who made you aware of it? He's like, yep, Hulk Hogan came and told me that they was coming to unionize.
Snitch.
And
And-
Jesse Ventura was like, motherfucker.
Because for WrestleMania 3, I believe it was, Jesse Ventura said that Hulk Hogan got paid more than all the other
Yes, he did.
wrestlers combined.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
Hulk Hogan had no reason to want to organize and form a union because he's getting more money than the rest of them. So Hulk Hogan is a class traitor to the poor whites. Don't y'all
Yeah.
ever
Oh
forget.
yeah.
Yeah.
He will sling an N-word real
Snitch.
quick. He got a
Mm.
weird relationship with his daughter. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. That is some weirdness that nobody needed to see. Nobody needed to see that. That was just very, very weird.
All
I-
strange.
No.
Guys, I sent y'all a pair of emails to the both of yous.
Oh, God.
Um,
Okay. I never check my email until I'm done.
That's okay. Well, that's why I sent it to Kamal too.
I
'Cause
got it.
I
I'm
try to
look
back
at it.
up. So if you have a choice of two, try to find the first one that I sent, since we talk about U.S. foreign policy and how these niggas be lying. We got some lies coming from the Biden administration
What?
pertaining to Israel's use of force against humanitarian aid workers trying to bring aid into Gaza. Do you have that article? It's a Reuters piece.
Yeah, I got it. Bringing it up right now.
Okay, you gonna give us your best James Earl Jones narration?
I will give you my best James Earl Jones narration.
Ooh.
I'm
Says
talking about.
special report. Emails show early U.S. concerns over Gaza offensive risk of Israeli war crimes. Risk of Israeli war crimes? Okay. As Israel pounded northern Gaza with airstrikes last October and ordered the evacuation of more than 1 million Palestinians from the area, a senior Pentagon official delivered a blunt warning to the White House. The mass evacuation would be a humanitarian disaster and could violate international law, leading to war crime charges against Israel. Dana Stroul, then the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Middle East, wrote in an October 13th email to senior aides to President Joe Biden. Stroul was relaying an assessment by the International Committee of the Red Cross that had left her chilled to the bone, she wrote. As the Gaza war nears its first anniversary and the Middle East teeters on the brink of wider war, Straw's email and other previously unreported communications show the Biden administration's struggle to balance internal concerns over rising deaths in Gaza with its public support for Jerusalem following the Hamas attack on southern Israel. Reuters reviewed 3 sets of emails, exchanges between senior U.S. administration officials dated October 11th to 14th. Just days into the crisis, the fighting has led to more than 40,000 deaths in Gaza and spurred U.S. protests led by Arab American and Muslim activists. You want me to continue?
I do, because I think there's a portion in there that details Blinken being in Israel and being part of I guess a war council or meeting of Netanyahu's war niggas. I don't know. But being made aware that the Israelis intended to bomb humanitarian aid coming into Gaza, and that Blinken, I'm not sure if he was simply aware of it or also signed off on it. I'm pretty sure. I thought that was in this piece. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I read that
No, it's a long piece, so it could definitely be in there. I was going to search a little bit for it as we speak, looking for Blinken's
But the
name.
dates, but I think the date of, I mean, not to say that that the Department of Defense and whoever the fuck, State Department, not to say that they did not know before October 7th that what Israel was going to do in Palestine and what they were capable of. But I think the date of this senior Defense Department, official sending this email, October the 13th, less than a week after October 7th, they were fully aware of what was possible, what was on the horizon, and what Netanyahu's administration was going to do in Gaza after the October 7th uprising from the Palestinians. So for the US to sit here and be like, well, we didn't know. No. No, you knew. So miss us with all the, Israel has a right to defend itself. Israel does not have a right to slaughter over 40,000, possibly way more innocent civilians to defend itself. And you knew they were going to break war crimes. I'm sorry, go ahead, Kamal.
Okay, says publicly the White House was expressing measured support for Israel's plan. A White House spokesperson told reporters that such a huge evacuation was a tall order, but that Washington would not second-guess Israel. U.S. Defense Secretary Lord Austin said U.S. military aid would continue flowing to Israel. Privately, some senior U.S. officials were concerned that there was no safe way out of the densely populated Gaza. Several senior U.S. officials told Reuters Israel had imposed a blockade. Its southern neighbor, Egypt, would not open its borders as part of its long-standing policy to prevent a mass resettlement of Palestinians. Some Palestinians who fled northern Gaza were killed when Israel bombed cars and trucks. In an email replying to Stroud, McGurk said Washington might be able to persuade Israel to extend the deadline for Palestinians to evacuate beyond 24 hours, saying the administration can buy some time. But the Red Cross, the UN, and aid agencies should work with Egypt and Israel to prepare for the evacuation. So yeah, I'm still looking for that part. But this, I think this article is filled with statements about what the U.S. know, when it knew, as you stated, and that it did absolutely nothing to prevent, which actually means that it actually supported Israel's action to do all the bombings in the ways in which they did as a way to terrorize the Palestinian population, and I think even to show international agencies that Israel would not be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, of course, this is kind of playing out the way we knew it would play out, right? Like eventually, all of the evidence would come out that none of this was a surprise to the U.S. government, to no one in the U.S. government, that the U.S. government, in fact, knew that Israel was targeting aid workers, aid trucks, and of course, civilians. And not only did they know, they wanted them to do it. They signed off on it. They're cool with it. So can we please dispense with this idea that Kamala Harris is working feverishly on a ceasefire? Fuck that. She is working feverishly to make sure Israel kills as many Palestinians as possible and takes the rest of that land, and then works on Eretz Israel in Lebanon, which is what they're doing. in Lebanon, what they're doing is exactly what they did in Palestine. They're just replicating. So if you didn't know what Israel did in 1945 and 1946 and before 1948, if you don't know what they did, what was it, 1899, the first Zionist conference? If you don't know what the Nakba was, you're seeing it carried out in Lebanon right now. And the United States knew. They helped them do it back then. They're helping them do it again in Lebanon now.
And really quickly, I brought up this. This is from the New York Times, an aerial view of the destruction of Lebanon in the first few days of this invasion. And as you can see, it's saying, residential areas completely bombed out, destroyed buildings, so-called military vehicles. And this was a whole village, a whole town. The complete village and town has been destroyed by aerial bombardment from Israel. These are not targeted attacks. These are not precision bombings. This is the bombing of an entire village, an entire city. And so the same way in which mass destruction was heaped upon Gaza, we're seeing it repeated in Lebanon. And so, the whole idea that this is targeting Hezbollah, this is targeting the whole society of Lebanon. And like you said, this is to bring fear and destruction and murder to these areas to show that Israel is boss, right? And this is part of the Western plan always is to, we talked about, again, the Korean War, the Vietnam War. It is to use the vast superiority of armaments, particularly an aerial campaign. Iraq is another example. Afghanistan is another example for the United States, for Western powers to show their dominance over other countries, when it comes to a military campaign. And so these pictures are just part of the mass bombings that have taken place already in Lebanon, where it's being reported to us through mainstream media for the most part, that these are precision, that they're targeting military targets, so forth and so on. And this is about destroying whole areas.
I would argue that these strikes are precision because they are with intentionality targeting healthcare infrastructure. They are targeting hospitals. They are targeting ambulance. And they are also targeting the roadways that are leading out of Lebanon headed into Syria. Like they bombed the fucking road, the road to get out of Lebanon and flee into Syria. The Israelis have bombed that road. So this is very intentional and precise, right? When they were trying to kill Nasrallah, they bombed 6 apartment complexes, right? They knew exactly what they were doing. I don't think this is like wanton, mindless bombing. I think they are bombing with destruction, but with intentional with the strikes that they are hitting. Now, what have you guys seen this report? It's not being reported in Western outlets, but I think maybe Al Jazz has it, where the Iranian president has met with the Saudi foreign minister.
Yep.
And they have declared some sort of alliance. And then was it this week or last week, the Jordanian king, Abdullah, got up at the UNGA and talked a little something, you know what I'm saying? It was just a little something, but he talked a little something that Jordan wasn't going to stand for the displacement of Palestinians and XYZ. It's like, okay, nigga, I guess shit's getting hot in Jordan for your ass, but all right, no worries. But it seems as though, I won't say a realignment per se, but maybe it is a realignment in the region with allies like Kuwait and UAE and Bahrain saying that they are not going to allow, do I have that right? Correct me if I'm saying anything inaccurate. They are not going to allow offenses against Iran to be launched from within their borders from U.S. military bases. And then Iran, did y'all saw the Ayatollah give his speech? Nigga. Woo!
The whole speech was a fuck around and find out, just
Fuck
repeatedly.
around
Fuck
and
around and find out. Fuck
He
around
said,
and find out.
I need everybody from Afghanistan.
Yep.
He said, I need everybody. If you pray to Allah, time to roll up your sleeves right now. The Ayatollah was not playing around. So, but the fact that these meetings between the Iranians and the Saudis, and then with so-called U.S. allies in the region pledging neutrality, you know what I mean? Like this sounds like news to me.
Yeah, it is. And it's interesting because, look, Saudi Arabia is Saudi Arabia. They're not, they're not anti-imperialists. They understand Saudi Arabia is a real problem of a state. And they have not been supportive of the Palestinian liberation struggle. They ain't cared. They have not cared. Jordan has not been all that responsive. So what I think is happening is that the people in these countries are giving their leaders the blues. I think that in a lot of these countries, it's the people who are like, how are you ignoring our people? How are you still ignoring our people? So I think that's a part of it. I don't know that I entirely trust Saudi Arabia to have Lebanon's back. I wouldn't, if I were the king of or the president of Lebanon, I wouldn't trust him either. But these kinds of alliances are not made because people like each other. They're made for either economic or military agreements, and I think this might be a military agreement.
So between
But I'm
Saudi
not
Arabia
entirely
and
sure.
Iran, not Lebanon, Saudi Arabia and Iran. So the Saudi foreign minister met with the Iranian president.
Okay, so still same thing. Because I thought they met with the Lebanese folk, but maybe not. But still, the point is, I wouldn't trust Saudi Arabia. I wouldn't trust anything they say, because Saudi Arabia had been in the pocket of the United States for decades until very, very recently, and their change in the relationship in regard to oil distribution to the United States only happened because they saw that they could probably make more money not dealing just with the US in response to this US EU NATO proxy war against Russia. But the UAE has never broken diplomatic ties with the United States government. So as far as I'm concerned, Saudi Arabia is still a tool of the US. So I don't trust them.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia is still a tool. I mean, I think all those nations, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, even Turkey to an extent. And some of them have come out, like you said, recently and made big statements about what Israel is, what it represents in the region.
Bigger statements than they have been making in years prior, right?
But what they have not done is cut off trade. They've continued to support, as they did a few months ago, support the downing of Iranian missiles as they've come across the airspace of Jordan into Israel. And so the question becomes, and Saudi Arabia did make a new statement, I think a few weeks ago, that said it would never recognize Israel until there was a Palestinian state. So the question is, are they willing to do more on the ground? Turkey, which talks a big game, has not stopped trading with Israel. It has just found new mechanisms and ways to continue trade. So I think that is the big question, because I think that is the only thing on the ground, to be honest, that can dissuade Israel dissuade the United States to make Israel stop doing what it's doing, would be shifts in regional alliances that the United States would become scared of. And that can either happen in two ways. That can happen, one way is more unlikely than the other. The more likely way is that there is revolution or radical movement on the ground, which is threatening U.S. embassies, threatening Israeli embassies, threatening the regimes themselves. And the other way is some sort of change of heart by the regimes that are getting now billions of dollars from the United States to continue to be so-called neutral, or to be friends, or to have relationships, even if not official, but to have undercover relationships with with Israel. some sort of change of heart that says this destruction is too much, and some acknowledgement and recognition that the destruction that is visited on other countries, other Arab countries, other Islamic countries, Islamic people, Muslim people, can be visited upon you next. And until that kind of acknowledgement happens in real time for these folks, again, what they will do. In the 1970s, the OPEC had a whole oil embargo. They took real action to mess with Western economies. They've not done anything close to that, and they have the power again to do something, at least to make a statement. If a ceasefire isn't reached in 5 days, in 6 days, in a week, we will do this to restrict oil, and they can drastically make oil prices go up overnight, which would cause then again the United States to have to potentially have a reaction and tell its attack dog to chill, right, or to cut back. But until those real world things happen, they're getting away with these speeches, which again, I agree with you, are becoming more pronounced, more anti-Israel by the day, but it hasn't moved them practically in terms of denying Israel resources or the West resources, or committing military resources to stopping Israel. Israel again has this huge technologically advanced army military system that in reality no one really wants to fight, right? I mean, you have to be real with it. It's a behemoth, even as a small country, because it is provided by the United States, the most sophisticated technology in the world. And so countries don't want to have infrastructure destroyed and so forth. But more importantly, the largesse that they receive, Israel gets the most resources of any country in the world from the United States. Second on that list is Egypt. And that's all due to the agreements that were made in the 1970s that provided recognition from Egypt to Israel. So all these things, are coming into play. And it's kind of like we'll see whether or not these countries, which have so far, so I agree with Jackie completely on this, have sold out the Palestinian cause, completely sold out. Palestinians have stood to the side and watch again their fellow Muslims, their fellow ethnic Arab folks be slaughtered by a settler colonial nation, and they've done little to nothing except express words of sorrow and or outrage.
Yeah, I will believe any of them when they stand shoulder to shoulder with the resistance. And I do mean that literally. When the Saudi army, the Jordanian army, I know Egypt ain't gonna do shit, so I'm not even gonna say it. When they stand shoulder to shoulder with the resistance in the trenches, then I will believe that those words meant anything. Anything short of that, they're lying, because it's been a damn year. They have watched this unfold for a year. They have watched Yemen. Who has been bombed more than Yemen? They have watched Yemen do more than all of them combined. And Yemen has fucking nothing. But Yemen is like, ain't a ship coming through this port. Nope. We will do that much. They can't do what Yemen did. They can't do that. No.
Well, I think
that
that's
is one of the
pressure
amazing parts
that
of it.
Jordan, that the country, that Jordanians are putting pressure on King Abdullah, because from what I understand, there is talk that he could be deposed, to be honest, like through either political means or through violent means, that there is fear of him not only losing power but losing his life in Jordan if he does not take additional action or any action to stand with the Palestinians, or do something, at least say something. So I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing more rhetoric coming from Jordan, because there is legitimate fear of, I guess, regime change might be the appropriate term. So I'm not sure to what extent the people of Jordan can put pressure to put their military into place. But to me, the shift in rhetoric, or at least saying something, is perhaps indicative of King Abdullah fearing what the will of his people are going to bring to bear on his future.
I think he's already. I mean, he's again. I think he's stepped up his rhetoric, but I think you're right. Like the idea of the Jordanian military getting involved would only happen through an overthrow of the Jordanian the royal regime. But again, this royal regime, besides rhetoric, has done nothing to support the Palestinians. And again, as people know, Jordanian by quote unquote ethnicity are mostly Palestinian. And so the people have a strong kinship, obviously, with folks in Palestine because they're basically one people. And part of Israel's plan has always been to remove Palestinians from Palestine and to push them either into Jordan or into Egypt, right? Those are the Israeli solutions to the problem, to their Palestinian problem. But I think the Jordanian regime, again, despite rhetoric, they're a very repressive regime, right? So even though there's been marches and demonstrations in the street, huge marches and demonstrations, they've been tightly controlled when they've actually gone after Israeli embassy, the U.S. embassy in Jordan. The military apparatus of Jordan, or the police apparatus, have pushed back violently those marches and demonstrations. And so, I have not seen this come to at least I have not read any media yet that has seen that this is coming to a head, that there is a fear of an overthrow. But I think other than that, right, there is nothing that will convince the Jordanian leadership to break away from it's not kinship, which is making them do it. So other than the fear of actually losing their heads or their power, there's nothing else that's going to make them do it, because they get so many billions of dollars. They get their little toys from the United States, and they get their little state visits and so forth. And that's been enough. And I was going to say, real as quickly as possible, one of the most amazing things about the resistance, I mean, obviously I've talked a lot about the fact that that they've weaker, in my estimation. But the amazing thing about the resistance is that they are, as Jackie actually just described, these again are not rich countries. These are not so-called technologically advanced countries. These are countries that do have some resources and so forth, but which are either blockaded from really developing the countries. But these countries, based on ideological positioning, have taken strong positions, and not just positions, have acted on behalf and with the Palestinian cause for national liberation. But these are not countries which are the strongest countries in the region. And that's part of the reason why the rest of the region that is in the U.S. pocket hates them so much, is because they've been a thorn in their side for their capitulation policies to the United States and Israel. It is this axis of resistance, some of them state actors, but most of them militia and people who've joined based on illogical positioning, these groups and organizations who have kept the resistance going. If it wasn't for these smaller nation states or these smaller groups that don't have the armaments of Israel, the rest of the Arab world would have capitulated decades ago to Israeli and U.S. and Western hegemony in the region.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's. I cannot describe what this past year has been like. I don't know about y'all, but it's been eye-opening in the most terrifying way. Because I cannot believe the people I know who are fine with genocide, and they have made it okay in their mind, and we've seen what people have done. They've put up this weird intellectual wall that is not based on logic or reason. It really is based on them insulating themselves from the reality that they are literally voting for the continuation of a couple of genocides, right? By voting for either of those two people. And it doesn't matter. It has not mattered what we have said to people. It has not mattered. The videos. I mean, this is the first time, I think, in the history of humanity, maybe, that a genocide is being live streamed practically. I don't think I've never, I'm just gonna be real honest, like I usually am, probably to a damn fault. I should probably stop. But I mean, I'm sorry, man. How are y'all not losing your minds at all of the people that you know who are ghouls? This is the thing that is blowing my mind, because if these people don't care about the genocide of Palestinians and of Congolese and the occupation of Haitians, now again, if these people don't care about those things, when they come for us, they will continue to be silent. And we know they're coming for us. They're doing it right now. We're having to download our videos, and that's what I wanted to talk to y'all about. Because when they shut us down, because they will, we have to make sure we have our content somewhere, because they're going to take it. They're going to take our access to this platform and other platforms away eventually. We know they're coming after us. And I'm looking at all of these people who are being silent in the face of genocide. And some of these people are so-called Christians, and I really want to punch them in the face in Jesus' name. I really do. The brown Palestinian Jesus, how are y'all going to be in church singing praises to brown Palestinian Jesus one day, and then later on that day, you talking about vote for the woman who is helping to slaughter brown Palestinian Jesus's people? What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
And Kamala be saying that shit with the straightest of faces. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't even, there's no conflict. There's no internal, back and forth. No, Israel has a right to defend itself, and we will continue to stand shouldered. I'm like, God damn, bitch, you is cold.
Cold, man.
Cold as ice out here.
And nobody, all the people I know, was saved for like my neighbors. I'd written them off a while ago, but still, like, I put out my little Jill Stein sign, and Jackie, you wouldn't waste your vote. Man, I had to stay on my lawn while she was on the sidewalk. I'm like, yeah, we don't do that here.
And the Democrats in the back, or the so-called progressives, continue to give her cover, right? Give with all that sweet talk of like, oh, we can talk to her. She seems like, again, one of the people from Uncommitted, she seems empathetic. It's like, really? Does she? Because she is not giving you any signal whatsoever that she is about to change policy or change course. Like you said, so she's openly said it. Israel has a right to defend itself. Israel has a right to defend itself. Every the best she gives is, we're worried about the amount of civilians harmed, but that's it. That's as good as it gets. She's not giving you any more. But that still doesn't stop them from telling all of us that somehow they are a stopgap between us and fascism. It's like, I think the fascism is already here.
Which is wild. Did you guys see the clip of Kamala on The View? And she was asked, well, what would be the difference between the Biden administration and the Harris administration? And she said nothing. But then she corrected herself. She said, well, there would be one thing that would be different. I would appoint a Republican to my cabinet, because I'm not so prideful that I'm against good ideas. I said, the Republicans got good fucking ideas. Can you name one? Can you name one? What is the good idea that the Republicans have? And who is this Republican with a singular good idea? Who is this person? Name
one Republican with a good idea.
Who are they? And it's like, I can only imagine she means Liz Cheney, or maybe
that's what I'm assuming too.
She'll give Dick Cheney another run. Fuck it, let's put Dick Cheney back in charge of the Department of Defense. You know what I'm saying? Let's put him in charge of the fucking Pentagon, since he know what the fuck he doing. Since you want to be an administration of war criminals, why not put an experienced war criminal back in your cabinet so he
bring
can
Obama back? No.
Don't give her the ideas. I'm sure that's all brewing.
But you guys should have heard the applause. Oh, Kamala, she's so bipartisan. She's gonna put my God, this is where we are, where Democrats get cheerleaded for going further to the right. God help us.
Yeah, that's the world we live in. That's the world we live in.
Yeah, and then people don't realize that they are being dragged on to the right too. They
Girl, they are going
and they're not
willingly.
even dragged. That they're not being dragged. They are literally chasing the Democratic Party to the right. They are running after as they go, running toward the RNC headquarters. Here, y'all niggas running behind Kamala Harris, running to the RNC.
Which
Jesus
is
Christ.
bananas. even any semblance of what used to be labeled as progressivism, you know,
That word is dead.
Where progressive? Where is the quote progressive policy? Under what branch? Under what issue are the Democrats progressive on any fucking thing?
Ooh, I cannot say the things that I want to say about things that I have learned because of things. But
well, let's save those things.
yes, I will save
And then
those
let's bring on.
things.
Maybe we should do a Patreon. Can we let the chopper sing on Patreon?
I
We
can't.
can let the chopper exactly.
We can't. We will do that, but I can't do it yet. I can't. I cannot
After
do it
November.
yet.
After November.
After November.
Okay.
Special
Because
Patreon, dropping all the inside info.
Man,
they give you all the inside info, but I can tell you one African who will not vote again until the fucking revolution happens. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, bring them up.
let me tell you something.
Look at his face. Look at that face.
Restraint not to call her see you next Tuesday Mala. I was very tempted on my show to call her see you next Tuesday Mala, and I had to stop myself. My friend said that was not nice. I said, I don't care. This is how, if she is behaving like a see you next Tuesday.
If she's a genocider, why do we have to be nice? I don't know. Why do we have to play nice to the genocider?
Because she's a black woman.
So
True.
So
hey, we
black
men getting grief because we not, on the team.
Everybody
got
gets
you on this one.
Not everybody gets grief, but that's
No.
and that's part of that's what they do, right? They make us feel like, again, that's the propaganda. Not just black men, but everybody's made to feel guilty if you don't pronounce her name right, or if you say something about the Democrats, or if you talk about third parties. Again, the overwhelming, sweeping propaganda is that somehow something is wrong with you. You're not getting on board the train. You don't see the bigger picture. You're a single issue voter. You're going to make Trump win. You support fascism. Genocide, like you said, genocide being live streamed. Oh, let's just put those cameras away for now.
Hey, fellas, if you out there trying to date, don't bring up politics right now because you will not get a second date.
Is that what happened?
Especially if you talk about not voting for Kamala.
So is that what happened? Is that why you're like this today?
No, Jack.
Dear doctor,
do you want to date somebody who would vote for Kamala?
Thank you.
A lot of black, you don't realize it's a lot of black women that's saying, because you got to think about it. It's a lot of black women saying that, it's a black woman finally getting a chance and we don't want Trump in there. So therefore, let's put it behind her.
Listen, I want us as a community. I want us as a community to reassess how we view the first black whoever the fuck. Because in my opinion, from where I sit, the first black whoever the fuck is usually the terriblest nigga to be selected, right? Whoever's the first black any fucking thing is a terrible nigga, okay? And we should not be celebrating that shit.
All right.
Sorry. I just wanted to put that out.
All right, so we got.
Y'all don't want to date those women, no way. You don't want those women. Those women are spoiled. They're rotten. They're not good for you. They're unhealthy.
They just
don't want them.
They're just ignorant to facts. That's all, Jackie.
See, I wouldn't have called them that.
You want to date a woman that's ignorant to facts, though.
You called them everything but that. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I wouldn't have called them that. That was actually a light touch he used.
Yeah.
He said they were spoiled to
the. They are. The Democratic Party has spoiled a lot of our people's minds, just like rotten tomatoes sitting in there in your brain. You just messed up.
I have sympathy for our people, a little empathy.
It depends on how big a butt is. Isn't that right there, doctor?
That is true.
It's one thing you can trust. All right. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Jackie, you got anything coming up? Kim, anything?
Yep, but I don't know what.
Okay.
Yo.
Stay tuned.
So my goal is tonight to do a Kim's Twitch turn up. I do that Wednesday evenings on Twitch, BIDWKB. Set your notifications on Twitch. I come on at any time between 5 and 8:30. It no set time. I think I'm gonna actually go back and listen to Mary J. Blige's My Life album. I'm trying to play the music while I can before everybody gets fucking canceled. Before you can't listen to nobody fucking music no more. This is the 30th anniversary of Mary J. Blige's epic album, My Life, being released. So we're going to listen to the MJB My Life album while we can still enjoy it in public.
And say your name in public.
Sounds good.
Oh, I forgot. On my Patreon, I dropped a vegetable harvest video. It was kind of fun because I was out there for like 5 hours just rolling around in the dirt. It was great. So I will upload that for the channel here if you guys want to watch it because it's kind of neat. I enjoyed it.
Let's go. All right, we see y'all tomorrow morning right here on.
What you got, Kamal? Kamal, you didn't ask Kamal.
Kamal don't got shit going on. He'll be here tomorrow.
Damn. I mean,
it's just the HNIC
a very
reputable organization. You know.
Okay, Kamal, you got anything going on?
No, I got nothing.
Okay, we'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Nigga, wake up! God damn! 10 o'clock.